How many times must I tell people to not trust the police, or even someone claiming to be the police? But yet people still take the word of a person in uniform without question, leaving them open to all sorts of horrific consequences. Here we have two stories, one from Wales and another from Lancashire, where simply accepting the word of a person purporting to be Plod has seen two elderly victims succumb to vile criminals who have stolen more than £30,000. I actually don't mean the police criminals this time, I mean criminals pretending to be the police. It seems that either the same scam is being used by multiple gangs or the same scam is being run on a nationwide scale. Gwent police have warned the public of the scam after an 89-year-old was tricked by criminals into handing over £6,000 by wankers claiming to be police officers from Luton Police, working on an undercover investigation into fraudulent activity, and that they needed the victim's help to catch the criminals. The victim was then told that a police officer would come to collect the money, and for them to keep quiet and not tell family, friends or the bank about it, due to the covert nature of the operation. A second victim, also in their 80s, was duped out of £25,000 in Lancashire after the same scam was applied to them, although this time the caller claimed to be from Scotland Yard, investigating the conduct of bank staff. The scammer said there had been an attempt to use a fraudulent credit card in the woman's name and urged her to withdraw cash across several transactions and that the money would be returned to their account. The bastards clearly managed to persuade this victim well, as they also managed to get her to do the same twice more after the first withdrawal, claiming it to be for more evidence. Over a 3-day period, a man arrived at the address to collect the cash, totalling almost £25,000. PC Gemma Harmon from Blackpool said, "This offence is a disgusting violation of people's trust and privacy. It is made worse by the fact the fraudsters have made the victims believe they are firstly the victims of a crime that hasn't happened, then into thinking they were assisting a serious police investigation by handing over large sums of their hard-earned and saved money. The damage done by the offenders committing these offences is hard to repair, and often the shock and trauma from becoming a victim of crime is never fully recovered from. I am asking people to be vigilant, and if you get this type of phone call, report it to the police and your bank immediately. People who commit these offences will often target the elderly, posing as officials to gain their confidence and trust. No police officer or other official body will ever ask for your bank details or would ever ask you to withdraw or transfer funds. No police officer will ever ask you to give them cash or to hand this cash to a courier. When dealing with police or other officials in person, ask to see their identification. If dealing with a police officer over the phone and you doubt they are the police, you can ask them for their collar number and surname and then call 101 to verify that they do work for the police. If in doubt, end the call and report to the police or action fraud. If you have an elderly friend or relative, please let them know that this has happened so they can avoid becoming a victim. Similarly, I am asking people to check on elderly or vulnerable people in the community. Has their behaviour changed? Are they anxious around the telephone, taking calls at a set time and being secretive about the calls? Do they appear stressed and anxious but reluctant to talk, or lacking trust in banks? Finally, have they started to withdraw cash, or is there a large amount of cash in their address? If so, please get in contact with us immediately. Now, I want to say, and it's not very often I agree with the police, especially when it's so hard to trust them. But what PC Harmon said is exactly what I would have said at the end of this video anyway, especially the bit about no police officer or other official body will ever ask for your bank details or would ever ask you to withdraw or transfer funds. No police officer will ever ask you to give them cash or to hand this cash to a courier. And if you have an elderly friend or relative, please let them know that this has happened so they can avoid becoming a potential victim. There are some despicable people in and out of a uniform, and we have an obligation to each other as to help one another as human beings. In fact, even if I detested somebody, I would still not want to see one of their elderly relatives suckered in like this, which is one reason I'm sharing this on the channel. Never take a copper's word for anything unless you can either verify that they are police or unless you know that what they are saying is true. There are a lot of scams that involve pretending to be the police, and there are a lot of police pretending to be police. By which I mean a lot of police who may well wear a uniform that used to be respected, but don't actually know how to police, and instead will simply abuse the public due to the public's ignorance of laws. Never simply submit. Never get out of your car unless you're being arrested or searched. Never let police into your house unless they have a warrant or you can verify they are the police first. No matter what they say to you, always be vigilant, always be cautious, and always question everything. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support helps me continue putting out this content. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.